AccuFloor is a company created by a father-son team with more than 67 years combined experience in the ceramic tile installation business. The AccuFloor product line has been envisioned and created because of their own recognized needs and from the perspective of those who actually install tile day to day. Both father and son are skilled tile installers, which help make their commercial tile installation company the longest-lasting ceramic tile contracting business in continual existence in the state of Texas. Father and son partnered together a few years ago in an offshoot company to begin making products to meet previously unmet needs in the tile industry. The company is AccuFloor. AccuFloor has been awarded many patents with innovations coming primarily from the installer's perspective. In particular, we will discuss in this video the AccuFloor Leveling Spacers innovation. Leveling Spacers was the first tile device to realize the importance of subfloor to mortar to tile contact, inventing the mortar notch concept. Any leveling system that does not maximize the contact from subfloor to mortar to tile sacrifices strength and stability. Tiles can break if they do not have substantial mortar contact, so any design that increases the subfloor to mortar to tile is superior to a design that blocks that contact. AccuFloor recognized this importance and invented the mortar notch concept. Other devices chose circular and rectangular holes, while some chose ridges. The mortar notch has proven to be the superior concept not only because of the tremendous marketplace success of the AccuFloor system, but also because so many competitors have now copied the mortar notch design in various ways. The U.S. Patent Office also recognized the mortar notch importance and granted the initial patent filed first on April 9, 2013. There have been several other subsequent patents issued to AccuFloor regarding the same features, which have further defined the invention. This video has been created to visually demonstrate the superiority of the mortar notch design and further define the mortar notch concept in order to avoid future litigation against the obvious multiple infringers. AccuFloor created and incorporated the mortar notch method of maximizing mortar contact below the tile. In this photo, you can see the known tile leveling clip art in April 2013. The ice-shaped base with a mortar notch from AccuFloor is now widely recognized in the industry as being the best way to increase mortar contact on the bottom of tiles. In fact, the AccuFloor mortar notch has been so widely recognized, it has been copied in virtually all new tile leveling products since April 9, 2013. You can see how the mortar notch has been copied repeatedly and is almost exclusively the concept preferred and used by AccuFloor's competitors in today's market. Here you see again April 2013 products, or patented art at the time the Leveling Spacers patent was issued. There may have been others, unpatented products, maybe not. It is clear there was essentially no new revolutionary art when you see how the market has designed virtually all new products using mortar notches in various forms. It is easy to conclude the AccuFloor invention in 2013 was truly revolutionary in this field. Left to right, Dota, Raimondi, Gordon, and our modified version of the Kuffner art. The Raimondi shown here was never patented. The Gordon patent was mostly about lowering the break-off point, and the Dota was a modification of an earlier art by another inventor and had some significant limitations, including an enclosed opening on the top portion and a break-off point above the base connection. Kuffner concentrated on the benefits of leveling multiple thicknesses of tile through upward curves, or in one embodiment, some inward-facing springs. Apparently, Kuffner never made the clip as shown in the drawing, but Ruby copied it in their original design. Comparing these 4 photos, it is very clear the original clip was a copy of the Kuffner art. It might have been licensed by Ruby, not sure, but it is clearly a copy. You can see the 4 upward curves separated for the purpose of leveling up to 4 tile thicknesses, which was stated and awarded in the Kuffner art. Here you will see that we had to modify the current design of the Ruby clip with filler material and new slots because Ruby no longer makes this design. Instead, Ruby made a significant change. In our opinion, they recognized the value of the AccuFloor art. They changed their sideways separating slots intended for lifting different thicknesses of tile, flipped the direction of, and increased the size of these notches. They had to have a reason. You can see in this comparison, mortar notches have now been formed from the front and rear of the device and enlarged from their original design. This change in a design is actually very significant if for no other reason that it is quite expensive to change production molds. This was not done without substantial purpose in mind. Even if they changed it because they wanted to avoid infringement of the Kuffner art, they still decided on the mortar notch design benefits. It is nonsensical to think that they did this to save plastic, otherwise they would have put holes in it just like their original design. For further clarification and context, when AccuFloor's initial patent was awarded, there was only one other device that approached the concept of a mortar notch. That again would be the Kuffner art, as just disclosed. However, Kuffner neither discussed their slot nor emphasized the importance of a slot. Instead, they followed the novelty of their now patented invention, in which 4 points extended upwards were the device to handle tiles of different thicknesses, which was the opinion of the patent office. Kuffner needed a slot to separate 4 upward curved edges in order to accommodate multiple tile thicknesses when compressed. This is further confirmed by observing the termination point of the slot. It terminates as soon as the curvature ends, which provides the exact intended purpose, balancing separation and lift. This multiple tile thickness feature, essentially their invention, is shown in different configurations on their application drawing. This design is now manufactured under the brand name of Tuscan. In fact, this design, somewhat utilized by Tuscan, has now apparently abandoned this concept altogether and is currently copying AccuFloor's mortar notch concept. This piece is shown in this photo. Now going back again to the Kuffner art. The function of this slot is clear because the alternate embodiment labeled as figure 6 in their application is shown here, essentially did not increase the subfloor to mortar to tile contact. Instead, the slots, which shows parallel to the vertical portion, only allow mortar to penetrate up into the grout joint between the tiles, not under the tiles. It is clear the slots are located in the joints between the tiles instead of below the tiles. AccuFloor successfully argued this point. Also, the fact that Kuffner was not an I-shaped base, it is an H-shaped base which serves no function benefit to subfloor to mortar to tile contact. Kuffner never disclosed subfloor to mortar to tile contact because it really did not happen, and it was clearly not the function of their slots. Alternatively, the AccuFloor art is an I-shaped base that serves a very important function because the mortar notch is located below the tile, increasing the subfloor to mortar to tile contact. For further clarification, the AccuFloor I-shaped notches, which are perpendicular to the vertical portion, increase the amount of direct contact of subfloor to mortar to tile contact under the tiles. There is really no other purpose to utilize a mortar notch design other than to increase the mortar penetration under the tile, thereby strengthening the overall installation. Here you will see 3 other designs in the market at the time of the AccuFloor patent, namely Raimondi with no patent, Gordon, which was originally an Australian patent, each of which have a solid base. The Raimondi version is positioned at a diagonal, and the Gordon design is basically a rectangle. Before AccuFloor design, this is how they were done for the most part. One notable exception would be the holes in the Dodo design. Holes are different than notches and have some clear limitations. AccuFloor is not claiming holes. AccuFloor patented notches. Today, there are other newer systems that have respected the AccuFloor intellectual property, such as Pagrin, Alpha, and Levolution. But as you have seen in the lineup in this video, almost everyone else has decided AccuFloor's revolutionary mortar notches approach is superior and have now adopted their design in some various ways, namely working to increase the direct subfloor to mortar to tile contact when placed under the tiles. There is really no other explanation in AccuFloor's viewpoint for creating a product with notches other than trying to copy the AccuFloor IP advantage that these mortar notches offer. Next, you will see a few examples of leveling systems that modified their original design. First, you see Kuffner, that we discussed extensively in this video, with their original design with the 4 inward prongs to level different thicknesses of tile. Their current design is still a strap, but it now has a square base with mortar notches. Next is the Dodo design. You see the original patent had holes in it. Now you see the Dodo design has an eye-shaped base with mortar notches. Last, we look at the Ruby design. Their original design had holes in the front and back and slots on the side. Their current design has no holes and now has mortar notches on the front and the back. These mortar notches are larger than their original slots. Next, you will see a short installation video to further demonstrate the superiority of notches in product design. The goal of this demonstration and the accompanying patent claim is to further define the AccuFloor notch in order to eliminate the current IP confusion. It is clear to AccuFloor and to others these are infringing designs, but AccuFloor believes further definition could be helpful to everyone and thereby avoid future litigation. In the video, we will have both types of clips, those with mortar notches and those without mortar notches, so that you can see the superiority of the mortar notch design. We will now show the performance aspect of different types of clips being inserted under tiles, which will further demonstrate the superior contact provided by the mortar notch design. Thank you for your kind attention in this video presentation.